When you go to a Muslim bookstore and you say, can you give me a copy of the Bukhari? You would expect to get this, but instead they will give you this. They'll give you one volume that is made up of Arabic and English. They have cherry-picked and selected for you and translated for you what they want you to read from Sahih al-Bukhari. They do not want you to read everything within Sahih al-Bukhari. As you can see, they have titled it Sahih al-Bukhari, the early years of Islam. And they explain and translate. But this is not al-Bukhari. This is a small compilation from what they want you to know about Bukhari. This is the real Bukhari. We who seek knowledge want to know what forms this radical ideology. We want to know what's in the book. Therefore, let's get into it. We don't need to go too deep into the book. First volume. And let's look at the first 100 pages within the book. Page 45 of this very book, volume 1, and segment 5, it is called Bab al-Takhfifi fi al-Wudu'. It speaks about the purification and purity of oneself before engaging in any form of prayer. Muslims wash themselves 5 times a day, meaning they wash the face, they wash the hands first, then the face. Then they come to the 2 arms and wipe on the head, and then they wipe on the feet. This is called the ablution. It's called the wudu'. The wudu'. It's also pronounced wuzu or wudu. It is a must. There is no prayer accepted in Islam without that purification beforehand. They mention the Prophet Muhammad. They themselves, 95% of the Muslims believe in this. They say that the Messenger of God, Muhammad, came to a house, and I will recite in Arabic. ثم اضطجع فنام حتى نفخ. He laid down, slept, and began to snore. ثم أتاه المنادي. Then the caller for prayer, the person who wakes him up for prayer, came to the Prophet Muhammad. And he said to him, it is time to pray. فقام معه إلى الصلاة. Therefore the Prophet Muhammad woke up and went with the person who woke him up to go and pray together. فصلى ولم يتوضأ. And Prophet Muhammad prayed without washing himself, without purifying himself. This shows you that the Prophet, who taught these 95% of the Muslims to wash themselves before praying, he himself does not wash himself. He himself is a hypocrite. And he himself has no prayer that is accepted. This is what they believe in. This is the hypocrisy within the Bukhari. Now we Shia, we don't even believe the Prophet needs wudu to begin with. The Prophet and Imam Ali, they don't need wudu. They are pure. Jesus, Moses, all messengers of God are pure. Yes, Umar ibn Khattab needs wudu. Umar ibn Khattab, who spread Islam by the sword, he needs wudu. He needs purification. As for a prophet, it doesn't make sense. So number one we have here, let's make a list of this, and I advise you to make a list along with me. So we have a prophet who is not pure when praying. If we move to page number 47, segment 14, it says here what is much worse than what we had just listened to. It states that a man by the name of Abdullah bin Umar, he says, فَرَأَيْتُ رَسُولَ اللَّهِ يَقْضِي حَاجَتَهِ مُسْتَدْبِرَ الْقِبْلَةِ مُسْتَقْبِلَ الشَّامِ, which means I saw the Messenger of God I saw the Apostle of God in public performing his number 1 and number 2 in the middle of the street while facing Sham. Sham basically means Palestine. In another tradition, it says that he was seen مستقبل بيت المقدس. He was seen facing towards Masjid al-Aqsa. Now we have the Palestinians, they're fighting for Masjid al-Aqsa. They're fighting for the Aqsa Mosque in Israel. And here the same Muslims tell us that their Prophet used to do number 1 and number 2 facing towards that direction. Deliberately. This is the Prophet you believe in. And this is the Bakri version of the Prophet. This is the Umari version. And a prophet from God in the middle of the street doing number 1, number 2 for everyone to see him. And it gets reported in history after 1,400 years. And you're proud to be following such a prophet? If we come down to page 62, we're still within the first 100 pages. We're still within the first 100 pages. Page number 62. It states, أتى النبي, the Prophet came, فبال قائما, ثم دعا بماء, فجئته بماء فتوضأ. Which basically means, Prophet Muhammad came, and he urinated while standing up. He wanted water, we got him water. Then he performed ablution, he performed the wudu in order to pray. The problem is in Australian media, the radical preachers in Sydney tell me and you that if you stand when you urinate, you are doing an act that is like the act of animals. That's what they say. They say only animals stand and urinate. And here the very Prophet stands and urinates. I will show you. I'm not here making things up here. All highlighted in yellow for you. I'll bring it up to the camera. That the Prophet, peace be upon him and his family, urinated when standing. Which means he's a hypocrite. And he has no ethics. According to the Bukhari. And I would love for the Grand Mufti, and I would love for Brother Walid Ali, Dr. Walid Ali, Sister Linda Sarsour, to come and defend their Prophet. This is your book. Either you denounce the book or you denounce the Prophet. Which one is it? So now we have a Prophet who urinates when standing like an animal. Like an animal. And we have number 1 and number 2 in public. This is the book that forms Sharia law. Let's read what's in this book. Come to page 72 of volume 1 of Sahih al-Bukhari. This one here is worse. Yani, as you go deeper into the book, the worse it gets for you. It states here, كان النبي يدور على نسائه في الساعة الواحدة من الليل والنهار وهن 11. قال قلت لأنس أو كان يطيقه؟ قال كنا نتحدث أنه أعطي قوة 30. What does this mean? It means that the Prophet Muhammad used to visit all of his wives, and they were 11, and he would engage with them all in sexual intimacy. And he would do that during the day and during the night. And all 11 of them. And he wouldn't wash himself. He would not wash himself between each wife. So the person who narrated this report, he said, is this true? That Prophet Muhammad has the ability to satisfy 11 women? Here it says, he was given the power of 30 men. Yeah, Bukhari, who are you trying to fool? Who are you trying to fool? When you read this is the Prophet Muhammad that we were taught. I didn't bring this from Jupiter. This is the book for the greatest scholar in Islam after the Quran, according to 95% of the Muslims.